Matty, thank you for joining us. Slightly earlier game than usual, Friday night against Hartlepool. How's the preparation been for that one?
Preparation's been good, as it was last week, so no complaints there. We touched on a few things yesterday and today in training, so the players seem in good spirits.
How much have you sort of had to adapt the sort of weekly schedule? Have you sort of encountered any problems with the game being moved to the Friday, or has it sort of been normal service?
We've had a different build-up. So hopefully that won't. I don't think it will impact on the players at all. But it has been a different build-up this week. So yeah, that's fine. You just adapt accordingly, and I think the players have adapted well. So yeah, no issues.
Yeah, we were just talking beforehand. Obviously, temperatures have dropped this week. Pitches here at Southwater not ideal for training on this morning. So we hopped over to Horsham. Obviously, only a 5 or so minute drive. But how impressed were you with the facilities there, and sort of just happy that we have the option to use both, really?
Yeah, it's brilliant to have that flexibility when you do get days like today, which I'm sure there'll be plenty more of this winter, where the pitches are frozen and you can go over to Horsham, and we've still got that facility. They're kind enough to let us go there. So yeah, really impressed with the setup. It's the first time I've been there. The surface looks really good, albeit it's artificial, but it's a really good surface, really true. So yeah, players have trained there plenty of times, and days like today when it was more tactical, it was good.
Yeah, I can imagine after picking up that first win for you after Swindon, yourself and the lads were buzzing heading into this new week. I suppose it's just a case of continuing that, keeping that morale at high, but then also just sort of adapting, because as you've mentioned in your pre and post match, Swindon are a very possession based team, so just more things to work on this week, I guess.
Yeah, that's it, more things to work on, maybe on the ball this week. I still want that out of possession stuff that we spoke all last week about and came out on Saturday, that has to be a given, that we can't go away from that. But in terms of on the ball, we've worked on a few things this week just to be a little bit better, and yeah, it's gone well, like I said. So yeah, looking forward to the game. It will be a tough game, we know that, but it's an opportunity to go out at home, and even before I was here with Lewis, the home form was really strong, so hopefully we can continue that.
Yeah, Hartlepool have had their own struggles this year. Obviously they sit at the foot of the league table, but these games are almost the ones that are harder to win, aren't they? Obviously, we've seen, especially this season, Crawley often perform better against the teams higher up in the league, but you can't read into anyone's position in the league, can you?
Definitely not, and definitely since Keith Curle's come in, and they have picked up their results and obviously been named permanently as well. A man with loads of experience in management, loads of experience, successful experiences as League Two manager, so knows the league inside out. So we're under no illusions it's going to be a really, really tough game, and maybe even tougher than Saturday, because it'll be a different kind of game. So we've got to be prepared for that, and that's what we've been trying to prepare the boys for this week.
James Balagizi impressed a lot of people in the game last Saturday. Obviously, as you mentioned in the post-match, it was always the plan to, there was no way he could have fulfilled that full 90 minutes, but has his progression, continued this week and ready for the game on Friday? Yeah, no,
his progression's been much better this week in terms of he seems to be getting up to speed. It was hard for James because obviously he went back to Liverpool and he had the injury and he got rehabbed there, and he's come back, but he's not had any games before coming into a first team environment, which ideally you'd want, whether it be a B game or a 21s, whatever you want to call it. Just that game away from the glare of league football would have been ideal for him, but he had to get those minutes under his belt on Saturday in that environment, and like you said, he was really good. But I think there's loads more to come from James, and I'm sure of it. So yeah, it's good that he got those minutes under his belt. He did tire. I could tell he was tiring, and that's why I brought him off maybe 5 minutes earlier than we were going to. But there's no problems with James. He's a very, very good footballer, and I'm sure he's going to add loads to this team.
Thank you, mate.
Hi Matt. Whilst you've only been here a short while now, what changes have you noticed in the squad so far since your arrival?
Changes in terms of?
Changes in terms of, are they adapting to your ideas, your tactical?
Yeah, the boys have been brilliant. They have. It's not been wholesale changes, but there has been things that we demand and that we expect, and they've bought into it. So I said it after the game Saturday, and pre-match on Friday, that I can't ask any more of these players in terms of that they are listening and they're taking things on board. I want players to play with a certain kind of freedom at the same time. I'm not really, we want to provide the players with a structure and solutions when you come up against different opposition, but ultimately they're the ones going out and playing, and they need to be going out there playing with a freedom as well at the same time. So that's been really important that we get that message over to them as well. And like I said, in terms of the out possession stuff, that has to be a given, or even better, week in, week out. And then if we can get some stuff in possession into them as well, then I think we'll be okay.
And whilst Hartlepool are bottom of the league at the moment, it wasn't too long that Crawley were in that position as well. And whilst you're on a good run at the moment, how do you make sure the squad maybe doesn't get too far ahead of themselves this week?
Oh, it's really important we don't get too far ahead of ourselves. Like I said to the players early part of the week that yes, it's a great chance to go back to back in terms of wins, but we can't take anything for granted. And if we do go back to back, then you start looking upwards rather than below you. So Friday night's really big. It's a really big game for both clubs. But we're under no illusions. We're up against a Hartlepool team that will be well coached, well drilled, and it will be tough.
And Crawley have sometimes struggled against the sides that are lower down them in the league this season. How do you make sure that isn't the case this week?
Just by the work we've done this week, and you just hope little bits and pieces come out and you can see them during the game. That's the bit as a coach that you want to see. Like I said, alongside that freedom, because I think it's really important, and not playing with fear. Going out there and expressing yourself and the out of possession stuff I keep mentioning, but it's big for me that we continue to do that and then see what happens.
The club's technical director this week told us that Tom Nichols was left out of the last match day squad because he'd received interest from another club. Have you got any updates on that current situation?
I haven't got any updates for you at the minute. Obviously that is the case, so that's the reason Tom wasn't involved this weekend, and he won't be involved on Friday night, but it's an ongoing situation. But I'm here to concentrate on making the players that I do have available as good as they can be, and a team going out there that can be as good as they can be as well.
And whilst you did win 2-0 last Saturday, what does the side potentially miss without Nichols in the team?
Nico, he still trains with us, and he's a very good player, especially at this level. So he's going to be missed. But thankfully, and luckily on Simon and my part, that we have James Balaghese coming back. So it kind of softens the blow a little bit. But Nico's been a really good player for this football club for a long time, and I realise that, and he's a really good lad. The players realise that, but sometimes these things happen in football, and you just have to move on. And I wish him, if this does eventually happen, I wish him nothing but the best.
And Jack Powell scored that outrageous goal on Saturday. As he was just about to hit it, and as it was in the air as well, did you think it was going to go in? Do you think he could pull that off?
I thought he could pull it off because I've watched a lot of Powley even when I wasn't here, and he's a technically really good footballer. I was actually thinking, can we get one more pass off to then put it into the back of the net? But he's made completely the right decision, and the technique to actually do it with his side foot and a little bit of fade on it as well was impressive. It's a brilliant goal. Comes from Rem's press first and foremost. That shouldn't go unnoticed, but the technique for the goal was outstanding.
Nadesan, thank you for joining us. A slightly earlier fixture than normal. Hartlepool on Friday night. How's the preparation been for that one?
Yeah, obviously we've changed nothing. Obviously we're coming off a good result. Obviously the guys are pumped up. It's good to get the gaffer his first win. And yeah, everyone's delighted. Obviously the cold weather today didn't help, but we were still at Horsham training, and everyone did well, yeah.
Coming up to our second week with Matty in charge, how's it been sort of adapting to a slightly different playing style, but also a new manager as well?
Yeah, I think all the players are taking in what he's saying, and obviously what Simon's saying as well. They've obviously had great careers, and we obviously want to have the same. But yeah, everything they've said, we're really inspired by it, and we're doing really well. Obviously, he's changing a few things from what Youngie and obviously the old gaffer did. But yeah, I think it's working really well. Obviously, we showed glimpses of that on Saturday, and hopefully we can take that into tomorrow night.
Yeah, I suppose it's a perfect start, isn't it, getting a 2-0 victory against high league opposition, because as Matty was saying, not necessarily had enough time to implement his full style, but it's just a great start to get that first win, and it just sort of picks the lads up, I guess.
Yeah, obviously it was a tough game. They're obviously fighting for the playoffs, and obviously we're at the other end, but obviously it's equally as tough going to be tomorrow. Obviously they're fighting for their lives. Obviously we know how they feel. We were in their position obviously a few games ago, a couple of months ago, but yeah, obviously said we're raring to go, and obviously the gaffer's got us ready and raring for it.
Obviously we saw you out on a slightly wider role than maybe you've been used to this season. We've seen you play there before, but I suppose if there's anyone that you're going to be a winger under, it's going to be Matthew Etherington, former Premier League winger, so I suppose it's a good opportunity for you to learn in that position, I guess. Yeah,
obviously he's been giving me some knowledge about how to play out there, and obviously especially with Nick behind me as well, and obviously Lynchy there as well. They don't want me to defend, they want me to go forward, and hopefully whatever we play, what formation we play Friday, I'll be able to help the team out.
Yeah, I suppose, having been a striker throughout your career, you'd always prefer to play through the middle, but this isn't necessarily this is your position now, is it? You could be needed at any time up front. We've seen you play further back at wing back at times. Like, I suppose you'll just be happy to play anywhere.
Yeah, obviously being a Crawley fan, I just want to be on the pitch playing for the badge and playing for the fans. But yeah, I don't mind. Obviously, I was helping Nick out a lot last game because there was a main threat of their right wing back. But we never know what they're going to do tomorrow, so I'll be up for playing anywhere, and whatever the gaffer says, I'll play.
It was speaking to Matty beforehand. Obviously, Hartlepool, they are bottom of the league, but if anything, that almost makes the game harder, doesn't it? You can't focus on that, because the moment you start focusing on that, I suppose the game plan goes out the window.
Yeah, obviously we need to carry on what we did from Saturday, which obviously worked well, but over previous results we've not done the best against lower leagues. We like teams that come at us and we can express ourselves on the counter, but we need to be more focused, and it's going to be an even tougher game than what we played on Saturday. Yeah,
obviously game moved to the Friday. Has that changed your preparation? Has it been slightly weird? Obviously, I know you were in yesterday on a Wednesday. Must feel quite strange, obviously, not having been in on a Wednesday in a while. Has it changed the players' preparation at all, or is it just pretty normal?
Obviously, we're used to having Wednesdays off, and obviously a few of that we were in and out pretty much yesterday, because obviously people have the kids with nativities and stuff like that. But it didn't change anything really. Exactly the same. We just obviously worked the day back, so obviously we did preparations today instead of a Friday, but nothing really felt different, and as I said, we're ready to go tomorrow. Yeah,
and it's a chance for you to actually catch the England game on Saturday as well.
Yeah, that's a tough one, that one. Yeah. We'll enjoy that one hopefully after 3 points tomorrow.
Thank you, Nadesan.
No worries.
Hi Ashley, obviously you got that first win under Etherington last weekend. Was it sort of a sense of relief to win that first game under a new manager?
Yeah, obviously with the previous gaffer we didn't get off to the best of starts, and obviously when Youngie came in, stepped in, we won straight away, and obviously that lifted the spirits, and I feel like it's done the same here. The gaffer's done obviously really well to get the 3 points for us on Saturday, and we just want to work under him. Yeah.
If you don't mind me saying, it seems like you've clicked after that Betsy spell, and the goals started to flourish really quickly on. What do you think it is about that part of the season compared to the start as why you started to score so much?
I just think we had more ball in the attacking areas. Obviously we were trying to play out under Betsy, but obviously, as unlucky for him, it didn't really work. But we're getting the ball forward, and me, Dom, Nico are flourishing under that, so it's working really well.
And last weekend as well, Jack Powell scored an outrageous goal. When he was about to hit it, or maybe when it was in the air, do you think it was going to go in? Did you think he could pull that off?
Yeah, he's got that talent in him. He scores outrageous goals in training all the time, and he's just one of them technically gifted players. And I was very confident after he hit it.
With a goal like that as a player, do you think that it's quite like, do you take those kind of shots on when you see the goalkeeper off his line, or do you kind of back away?
Yeah, you take it. You see an open goal, but unlucky enough, it never ever falls to me like that, but hopefully one day it might.
And last weekend as well, Tom Nichols was left out of the matchday squad. Chris Scally has said that he's been linked to another club who's had interest for him. Considering your partnership over the last few seasons, how big of a miss would that be to see him leave the club?
Yeah, obviously when we found out about it, obviously I was gutted. I nearly cried. But no, he's over the years he's been a massive asset to the club. Obviously his goals, his assists, he's been dropping further back under different managers, and yeah, obviously he was captain for a while, so he's unreal for the team, and obviously if he does go, then it's a massive miss for the club.
Does it make you and possibly Telford as well, and other players coming back on the side, rethink your play style with a player like that just kind of dropping out of the team?
I think me and Nico, obviously it takes quite a while to get a relationship, obviously, and a partnership, and over the years, this year I feel like it's worked extremely well, and obviously to see him go like that is disappointing, but there's other players like Remy, Dom, myself, we're going to have to step up to the plate now, because as I said, he's a big miss, and we're going to have to fill the void of the goals and the assists that he's done for the club.
There's another story that came out this week as well that linked you and Nichols both going to Bradford City. Is it nice to potentially have that kind of interest from other clubs, or do you just want to stay away from it really?
Yeah, obviously it's nice to hear other clubs are interested, but my focus is fully with Crawley, and obviously getting us out of what we're in and hopefully push to the playoffs.
Thank you, Ashley. Cheers.
All right.